I got this snare on eBay with sheer luck. And I guess the guy that sold it didn't try to unsell it after I won the bid because of what I told him about how I am providing free drum tech service and session drummer service for a local Muscle Shoals area. You know, the famed studios in Muscle Shoals Sound and Muscle Shoals, Alabama. You know, responsible for RESB, CT, Aretha Franklin, Wilson Pickett's Mustang Sally, Wild Horses by the Stones, Etta James, Rather Go Blind, Leonard Skinner, all of these huge names of music from the Shoals. The thing is, those studios cater to big names and they have big prices. So for gifted Shoals musicians that have grown up being master musicians just because of who they're surrounded by all the time, they can't actually afford to pay those prices for a good studio time at one of these huge studios. And so I provide my services for free as a drum tech because a lot of drummers don't know how to tune. It's just a fact of life. And a lot of drummers and other musicians can't afford equipment because everything here is like minimum wage and everyone's scrounging, fighting each other for minimum wage jobs. Anyway, I got this for about $120, and then it was, after shipping and tax, was about 170 something. But the guy made 120 on this, selling it for 120. This snare is a Slingerland marching snare. Between, see the bronze looking cloud badge, it's in pristine condition, like nothing wrong with that badge, absolutely shiny like it's brand new. But you see that snare knob there, there's no throw off because this badge signifies that this drum is the Slingerland Victory. Because of this, it's the Victory marching snare between the years 1946 and 1948, as signified by this badge when they put that on. So this is made somewhere, I don't know which year, but it's 1946 to 48, right after we won World War II. Now this drum is in pristine condition, like perfect condition. It's got the tension rods that go all the way to the other side, so these lugs are just for holding it in place and spacing. But you tune the top and it also tunes the bottom head. This is like one step above using actual rope to tighten and tune the heads. Yeah, this little mark right here might be the worst blemish on the entire drum, and it just looks like the stain came off a little bit. It's still shiny. Like, now the guy I got it from said that when he got it a long time ago, he took off the calfskin heads, the original calfskin heads, because they always come broken. And he put on a brand new Remo Emperor coated. He put on a brand new Ambassador clear snare bottom and a new Pure Sound snare wire, 20 strand. Now, those heads and that snare wire all together would cost about 40, 50 bucks, you know, somewhere in that range. So it's kind of like I got these brand new heads and the snare for, you know, the price of paying. So it's almost like I got the snare itself for like maybe 60, 70 bucks. if you take into account that I received brand new heads and a snare, pure sound snare on it. Now normally, this exact drum, if you look right now, if you go to Reverb, you'll find versions of this same drum with a newer badge showing that it was made like 15 years later, 10, 15 years later. Newer drums that are in much worse condition, that are all banged up, missing parts. The bearing edges are all torn up. Finding one of these exact drums that's newer and in much worse condition, they run before tax and shipping, without new heads and all that, around $300. This is probably the coolest marching snare in existence, because this was an American Slingerland made to signify beating the fuck out of Nazis. And it's in great condition. Now, I'm gonna set it up. And it's sort of tuned. It's a little bit tougher to tune these because the bottom head has to be tuned with the same tuning that the top head has. And there's no muffling on it, but this is what it sounds like. If I put just a light pressure from my finger on the head to simulate like a gel or something like that to muffle it a bit. It sounds incredible. Probably the best, coolest snare I will ever own. Even though I just bought a Ludwig Black Beauty hand hammered with all brass hardware, die-cast brass hoops, brass tube lugs. I'm getting separately brass tension rods, brass butt plate, and then I'm replacing the P85 Superphonic throw-off, not to be confused with the Superphonic name that makes Superphonic drums good, but the shitty Superphonic throw-off that you have to wrestle with. You have to like lift the middle part up while you're flipping the lever up, so it's difficult to use. I'm replacing that with the brass P86 Millennium throw-off. And it hasn't gotten here. It'll take a few months for them to get all the parts to build the drum and send it to me. And even with that, this might still be my favorite drum, my favorite snare. But that Ludwig is going to be pretty sweet too. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, what do you think? What do you think?